Of course, tonight it's going to be talking very much about property, what's going on, and the gap between the spiel that's coming through the social media and through the property reporters and the portals and what's going on in real life. There's a bit of a gap, and the gap is, well, frankly, getting worse and worse. I want to start by just sharing this. This is the latest from the ABS that came out today. And what it says is that the total value of residential dwellings in Australia rose to $11.56 billion across the quarter. The number of residential dwellings rose by 53,600. So just bear that in mind if you think about the migration. And the mean price of residential dwellings rose to $1.016 million over the quarter. So that means that the mean price across Australia is now more than $1 million. That is remarkable and disturbing. And you can see here the chart showing the value of stock rising. It did drop, of course, a few periods ago, 22, 23, but it's been rising quite steadily. You can see that the mean dwelling price, Sydney is leading the way at $1.25 million, followed by Queensland at $977,000 and the ACT at $949,000. That's a weighted average between houses and apartments. It is pretty remarkable. The next point to make, of course, is that it's also a question of house prices versus capacity to pay. This is an oldie but a goodie from CoreLogic and the RBA. Median price continues to rise. Capacity to pay, not so much. In fact, it's going in the other direction. But if you look at the latest data from Shane Oliver, commented on the latest Melbourne Institute Westpac survey. It showed that there was a further rise in consumers' home price expectations, actually the highest since 2010. I see that in my surveys too. Perceptions of whether now is a good time to buy a dwelling did fall slightly, but is continuing to trend up, although it still remains soft, consistent with poor affordability. And I actually see that too. But I have to say, this idea that everything is bubbling and, buy, is definitely in the minds of many. Actually, I made a show about that the other day called Property Myths versus Reality as Financial Pressure Still Builds. And today, I want to talk about those financial pressures, how they're still building, and what the implications are. This is actually the killer chart. Broad money is a very interesting proxy for home prices. This is actually a significant indicator. If you want to do a bit of an overlay between home price moves and broad money with a bit of a lag, they are quite well correlated.